everybody. Welcome to another. This is another Friday night for HWR's Four Corner Rants, and we have the hardcore crew all here gathered. But we got some sad news, very sad news, as you can see from your screen and from the opening that we had. Wow, I mean, such a very sad thing to hear. Mean Gene Okerlund has passed away. The you know, forget it. I can't even just express words. This was the man on the mic, and we're gonna talk a little bit about him. Sadly, he passed away. He was 76 years old. Um, just real quick, a couple other notable passing people have passed away already in the beginning of the new year. And this is for you people who are old timers. The captain from Captain and Tennille, he passed away, and Super Dave Osborne passed away. The comedian actor who used to do stunts.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, he passed
Okay, I
away
did not know that.
a couple of days ago too. So that was all posted up as well. You can read on it on my page, and also on Scoldrins Realms page on Facebook. I have that all posted up. Well, we're gonna go. Let me introduce first the hardcore crew. He is the warden of our strange asylum here. And let me stay quiet when it comes to the word asylum, because our other panel I'm going to introduce loves holding someone who's from an asylum in her closet. But he is... Lance, will you please zap him so he stays quiet during the... Zoe, do something about that guy, please. He is...
I just gotta make his duct tape a little bit tighter, I guess.
Okay. He is Rick Head Rick. Welcome to tonight's show.
You know, always a pleasure to be hanging out with the hardcore crew on Four Corner Rants. Real quick again, we lost a true legend, Mean Gene Okerlund. He was the best. He is the one who set the mark above all commentators and interviewers and what have you. He was a really classy guy, and unfortunately, nobody has truly looked upon him and said, you know what, that's a mark we should try to reach for, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no one has even come close to matching Mean Gene's style. You know, speaking about styles, he is our own phenomenal one. Oh, I like to call him the phenomenal one, but he is the incomparable one, Lance Moth. Lance, how you doing?
Well, got a little bit of a cold, so I might be muting my mic every now and then. But, yeah, we lost the greatest interviewer in wrestling history.
Yep, and finally, he is on a call right now, so we can't get him unless he speaks up and says something. He's the Uber of Westchester, but he is on a call right now. So
Whoa. Zoe, he's the what?
Uber of Westchester.
Yeah,
Better.
You know, yeah, you know what she says then? It just made my Rolling Rock bubble here. My Rolling Rock beer just went psst. Okay.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified that it was a beer, because I'm like, what else is rocking right now and rolling?
Well, trust me, that'll be later tonight.
God.
But she is our vicious vixen from Kentucky's own wrestling. She is the one and only Zoe Nightshade.
You know it. Happy to be here, talking wrestling, packing my gear for my show tomorrow, and dyeing my hair. And I also want to give a shout out to people from the HWR Facebook page. You guys messaged me on my birthday earlier this week. All of you who took time out of your day to message me and tell me happy birthday, thank you so much. That means a lot.
Absolutely. And happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
The Uber of Westchester will be back eventually throughout the show, but you know, we're going to start it off. Again, there's so many greats in the wrestling business that have come, at least been around, that we say there's always been originals. There's no one that can ever top them. And Mean Gene Okerlund was one of them. You know, and you know, he passed away this Wednesday. You know, but he really, there's one thing to say about him, and I gotta say the man is a class act. Let me just bring some little info down. His real name is Eugene Arthur Okerlund. Okay, he's better known as Mean Gene Okerlund. He's the only announcer that's ever been in major promotions. He's been in the AWA, American Wrestling Association, under Vern Gagne when it first came up. He went to the WWF, which is the WWE today. Lord knows that's where he shined above everything. He went to finally WCW before it closed down, and then he made his return to the WWE as an on and off commentator. You know, he was one of those guys. If you said Hulk Hogan, Mean Gene Okerlund. If you said Roddy Piper, there's got to be a Mean Gene Okerlund. He was the guy that, even though he was never in the ring as a participant, he was in the ring with the greats. And he even has a match under his belt, a win, actually, under his belt. He teamed with Hulk Hogan back in 1984 for one match to go up against Mr. Fuji, of all people, and George the Animal Steel, when George was a heel. The match was more comical than anything else, and from the build-up, they had Mean Gene doing all these things, from taking Hulk Hogan's powdered bodybuilding stuff. They had him eating raw eggs, you know, and he's been in there with the greats. I mean, when you sit back, and I know I'm going on a little bit, but this is a real touch thing for me because I grew up watching Mean Gene Okerlund. When you say wrestling, there is Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, there is Mean Gene Okerlund, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Jesse Ventura, and Golden Sully, and many others. But Mean Gene, I think, when it came to it, when it came to interviewing the guys backstage, he was the class act.
He was perfect.
Yeah. And you know what's sad? They have so many people today, and not one has captivated the audience like Mean Gene Okerlund. I'm gonna toss this over since she spoke up first. I'm gonna toss it to you, Zoe. Any memory of Mean Gene Okerlund?
Oh my God, yes. Every time I hear somebody say Mean Gene Okerlund, to me, I think of the moment with Macho Man, cup of coffee, and him kept telling him, don't look at the signs, around, look at the camera. And Sid Vicious actually goofing up and saying, "Oh, can we start that over?" Mean Gene's like, "No, we're live." But I love Mean Gene. I grew up watching him. Whenever I started watching him was whenever he was in WCW. I mean, he's such an amazing talent, hard worker. I saw him on the Legends House on the WWE Network. Mean Gene reminds me of a teddy bear almost. So it was very sad hearing that. And he's one of the ones that, you sit and think about like, oh God, I didn't think he would ever die because you love him that much.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that just kept going. And he was sought out too. He's done commercials as his Mean Gene character. He was the guy, and we're getting already people like commenting already about Mean Gene. But yeah, he was the man. I'm gonna toss it over to Lance. Lance, any fond memories of this? And he is a Hall of Famer, by the way. So, any fond memories of Mean Gene?
What comes to mind first is all of those Ric Flair interviews he did in WCW, where Flair will go, "Mean, woo, Gene," and just go on. But a normal guy or a normal interviewer would just almost fade away in the background. But Gene, you'd be trying to pay attention to both of them. That's one of the things that made him great. He could hang with a lot of these guys, while a lot of these people nowadays kind of cower away.
Yep. You know what was funny that you mentioned that? he was one of those guys who dealt with so many personalities. Like Zoe said, the Macho Man, and Sid Vicious. You know, you just said Ric Flair with Hulk Hogan and several others. Rick, I think he was the only guy that really composed himself, that never exploded into laughter. Like, you know, these guys make me funny. You see other commentators do it. Like, I could say Tony Schiavone and David Crockett, they used to laugh all the time when somebody made a comment. But Mean Gene really kind of composed himself.
I couldn't have done it.
Absolutely. He just kind of knew how to, you know, present himself in that sort of decorum. You know, whether somebody was making a joke or somebody was coming out with this, you know, completely crazy gimmick, he was either, you know, he would always shine, but he would never outshine the talent. Unfortunately, that seems to be a lot of the problems with a lot of interviewers and commentators today. They either don't know how to shine or they try too hard to be a part of the story. So.
Absolutely. I don't know if Johnny is back yet or he's still Ubering away.
I think he's Ubering.
Well, after hearing Zoe, he's probably doing more than Ubering.
Oh my God!
Wow.
He's Ubering. Chester.
I hope he's keeping.
I want to give a quick shout out.
Go ahead, Rick.
Well, the Iron Reverend Jake Slayer. He said, Mean Gene was the Shitsnitz. I'm guessing it's the shits, but I don't know why he said Shitsnitz.
Shiznit. As in, he was the shit.
Okay.
You know what? I'm just going to make that a new word for me. What was it? Shiznits?
Shiznit.
That's going to be my new favorite word. Thank you.
Sounds almost like Shezbot, what Robin Williams used to say in the old Mork and Mindy TV show, and that shows you how old I am.
Yeah. Sounds nuts. I want to move on real quick, Joe, to this next story.
Yes, let's go on to the nudie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the next story, please.
Yeah. There is nude photos of WWE. Toni Storm has been leaked out. The Sun has reported that Mae Young Classic winner Toni Storm had several nude photos leaked on the internet. Storm has since deleted all social media accounts. She is set to face Rhea Ripley, which is in the Women's UK division, at TakeOver Blackpool on Saturday. You know, I'm going to say something, and I know this may seem very, very cold and callous, but when you put yourself out there and take pictures and you share these kind of pictures online or on the phone, guess what? You should be held accountable. Yes, is it wrong that somebody downloads it? She calls it a hack. Well, what happens when you send something, pictures, to another person? What do you think is going to happen? Paige makes around that. You know, same thing happened to Paige last year, or 2016. And, you know, she had 3 cameras in one room. What did she think? It was just going to be, you know, not going to go anywhere? Come on, smarten up. You want to have all these crazy porn pics or whatever, your videos, fine, by all means. But keep them at home, because if you put them on a camera, especially on social media, forget it. You're asking for it. As hard as that sounds.
You know what, and Rick, I'm going to jump in. I agree with you 100%. You know, you're in a business that your name alone is going to be noticed. It's going to get around. And especially being an attractive woman like she is, why in the world would you want to take nude pictures and then save them or pass them to your boyfriend or girl, whatever? You expect them to be out. Look what happened. You just said before, Paige. Look at Seth Rollins. You know, look at other individuals who've been caught on this. So why is it a shocker that she's like, you know, leaked out? No. Well, you don't want this to happen? Don't fucking take nude pictures, you stupid bitch. You know, and if you're gonna do it, fucking do it someplace. Just show it off someplace. You know, like, okay, you want to see me nude here? No camera.
Like I said, yeah. You know, basically use your home camera where it's not going to be out. You share stuff, or you have somebody using a smartphone, especially with 2 or 3 people who have a camera, it's going to get out. This is not leaked. This is not something hacked. It got leaked for a very specific reason, because you were dumb enough to put it on a camera. You know what, Zoe, you being a female in the room, what do you think of this whole situation?
Thank God she is.
Oh my God. I have to quote a woman coming up on the Raw roster, act like a lady. I mean, my God, how stupid can you possibly be? I mean, don't sit and say, oh, God, I got hacked. Guess what? You're in the public eye. It's going to happen. So make sure that they're not hacking your tits first. Just saying.
Yeah.
Don't take nudes and send them to people. Do I take nudes and send them to my husband? No. He's asked for them. Have I done it? No.
You'd be like, honey, you know what they look like.
Yeah, or you can
With
see
me,
it
it's
when you
like,
come
no,
home.
you can see that in the bedroom tonight, honey. You can see the real thing.
Exactly. You know, Lance, you know, we've seen stuff, again, we've seen Seth Rollins and several others go through this. You know, what is your opinions on this?
Well, this, unlike most of them, could actually hurt her career because all these others have been people that are on the main roster. She's still technically in developmental. Of course, I'm not sure how the WWE UK thing is seen within the company, but that'd be like somebody in NXT having some photos leaked, which there are some that I wish would leak some photos, but that's just me being a single white guy. But anyway,
You leave the Cross out of this.
hey, they'd be on the main roster.
All right. Johnny, are you back yet? He's still Ubering.
All right. Well, you know,
Real quick, real fast. You know what Lance just said. You know, how would this affect her? I think, in my opinion, I don't think it's going to affect her much because she went out in public and said all this. You know, backed it up and said, "Hey, you know, I was hacked." You know what will happen? If she'll send them to Vince McMahon himself and say, "Hey, here's some photos of me." In fact, here opens up her coat and there she is naked. Can I get a woman's title shot?
Yeah. Well, again, I'm going to be honest with you. When I heard about them, I'm like, all right, I got to see these pictures myself and see what exactly it is. You know, because there were pictures of Alexa Bliss where they were completely photoshopped. Now, the only thing she really revealed, she didn't reveal anything else aside from her ass. And I'm like, okay, so they show her ass. If she was wearing a thong, it looked the same way. So it's not like she was sitting there, you know, masturbating like Paige was with a fucking dildo up her ass. You know?
And that was the softcore things in those videos.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was one of the minor that it got a little bit loud. Whereas where the women's title got sticky for some reason, you know. Oscar was wondering.
Which is why Oscar requested a new belt.
Yeah. But that, in short, yes.
The women's title's been worse. It's been even in the trash can, and they pulled it back out.
I'm not sure which of those two is worse.
But, and again, at the end of the day, all joking aside, if I've never seen her wrestle, but obviously somebody in that company thinks that she's an up-and-comer, and that's all that matters.
As somebody who has watched her quite a few times on NXT, the girl can go. As in, she can go in that ring.
Well, let's hope that doesn't affect her career too much. If not, she can go into Playboy. All right, let's go on to another. Speaking about women in the business, Nia Jax suggests racism. Really? In the WWE? Holy shit! Really? Yeah, well, I can tell you one thing. Her career is going straight down because how many people? Let's see here. Have said this, and it hasn't done well for them. You know, I'm gonna go on the limerick. I'm gonna read it out first, and then I'm gonna go on the. And I noticed at the bottom of this it says "Enter Joe's rant here." But anyway, it says according to Ringside News, Nia Jax posted a tweet. It's hashtag We Here Too. In fact, I got that tweet on Twitter because I do follow Nia Jax. I did get that tweet as well, which she suggested that the WWE is being racist. No, say it ain't so. WWE gave credit to Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, the Iconics, and Carmella, Jesus, who all happen to be white. Ringside News did not post a link to the tweet and never mentioned that Jax deleted the tweet. While many on social media is playing the race card, it should be noted that WWE also did not mention Alexa Bliss, Mandy Rose, Lana, Mickie James, the Riot Squad, Bayley, Natalia, Paige, and the fucking Bellas. Oh, and let's not even forget the boss herself, Sasha Banks. But, okay, now comes the rant. Let me clear the throat here. Get my nose all cleared out here. Yes, there has been racism in the WWE, just like there's been racism in many professional sports. Wrestling is just the tip of it. Hell, after many years of various white champions, I'm going to say it like that, or non-minority champions, WCW finally had Ron Simmons become the first ever black heavyweight champion. After that, it went back to all white. I'm not making shit up. I'm not racist. I'm just stating facts because you can look it up.
Ron Simmons.
Ron Simmons. Yeah. Damn.
Okay. What did I miss?
Nia Jax saying there's racism, bro, in WWE.
No, never.
For the record, she did not say.
That's like saying, "Oh, there's ropes on a wrestling ring."
Yeah.
No shit.
Oh,
How?
there's never any racism.
Yeah, right, bro. We haven't seen that in the business. Why do you think I'm called Joe E. Knight? Anyway.
Exactly.
Let's just say even in the WWE, we've seen it many times. There's abundance of non-minority superstars that make it to the top. Now, maybe this wasn't her intended thing to do. Maybe the message she tried to send out meant that, hey, you missed all these other girls here too. But I think maybe the tweet was misconstrued and people took it a different way. Like when I saw it, I understood it not being as racist, but when I said, wait a minute, why did they mention them when they can mention Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, all these other people who's been a champion? I thought that's what it meant, but then when I read into it more and other people were reporting it, I understand that's what everybody's saying. Again, this is an era where crap like this happens, and in wrestling, you're talking about people complaining about racism in football. Give me a fucking break. Most of the fucking people on the field are black, making millions of dollars, running a little ball back and forth on the field. Yes, kids play that in the street. There's players that are Hispanic in the baseball leagues, making millions of dollars. Wrestling is one of those sports that sometimes gets a little minority champion here and there, and they hold the belt for like so long, or they go, and then they drop it, and somebody else rises to the top. Booking, that's on them. That's how booking is. So, I think it just happens to be. Look at that. Look at the Mexican I keep trying to deport. I'll miss whatever. He had his moment. He had his time. Boom. That was it. They coming up.
Real quick, I want to give a couple, again, shout-outs to some of the guys. Terry Boyer, who says, who's racing? I don't know who racing is. I think he might have misheard that.
I think I'm racist, but yeah.
Yes, but
racist?
Again.
Not me.
And then Jake Slayer asked us, was Rocky Johnson or Tony Atlas tag champs way back then?
Yes,
in the APA.
No. They were WWF Tag Team Champions. And they were the first black tag team champions before Ron Simmons and Butch Reed in WCW. So
I want to say they held the Memphis belts too.
I want to move a little bit forward with this because first and foremost, I don't. Let's not not screw the fact that there is some form of racism, sexism within any business, not just the WWE. But I don't think, again, I think Ringside News was using this just to get a little bit of hype and a little bit of their attention. I do not see this as, any kind of implication that it was racism. It was just their speculation. So I think, honestly, if that had been the case, they would not be pushing Nia Jax and all the other wrestlers. Like, again, they were just highlights. And we'll speak about other highlights that are right on the show, which is absolutely horrific. But that's it for me.
Yeah, you know what, and you're 100% right. Again, when I saw the tweet, because I got it on my phone again, I did not look at it as anything racism. I look at it like she must be referring to champions, because the people who mentioned, except for the Iconics, and except for the Iconics, everybody else has been a champion. So I think it's just, with our society, people look to get points up there. They try to get a little bit more views. They try to get a little bit more stuff. I think it's just that they just had to point to this fact. And you know what? Personally, I think that's stupid. Why continue to divide us? Let's all unite. Let's go to you, Zoe.
Oh, Lord. Well, I mean, whenever I first saw, the whole tweet, I was thinking more along the lines of, oh, she's basically saying, hello, the rest of us on the roster want to be mentioned as well. We took part in making the women's evolution. That's what I took it as. I did not take it as, oh, so because we're minorities, we can't get mentioned. I didn't think that at all. I mean, okay, Jacqueline. Wasn't she the first African-American WWF Women's Champ? I believe she was.
Yep.
And I want to give a quick shout out to Mrs. A, who she said she had just entered the room while we were talking about the page thing, and she really kind of didn't know what was going on. I'm just going to go over real quick with her. One of the wrestlers, female wrestlers, Toni Storm, apparently some pictures of her was leaked, and she had removed a lot of stuff. And I was talking about the fact how a lot of women who share pictures, whether they're appropriate, inappropriate, what have you, when you send it to somebody else, you're automatically putting yourself at risk. And this is very cold and callous, but when you do these things, you have to consider the fact that this is going to happen. These things will happen. Yep. It's like saying, I'm going to be drunk behind the wheel, but I'll make it home.
Yeah, the thing is, when you put yourself in a position that you take pictures. Now, there are people who do that, and they'll like Zoe, you just said, your husband says, "Oh, send me a picture of you," blah blah blah. Sometimes it's for fun. People say, "Hey, I just want to see your sexy bod and all this stuff." But when you gotta remember, when you do something like that, and it gets shared there, anything can happen, especially if you are anybody in the wrestling business. Now, Toni Storm is still new. She is in NXT in the UK division. She won she's getting out there. Her name is getting out there, and this happened. So that's what we were talking about. And then we went on to Nia Jax and the racism card that's supposedly being pushed out there. So I forgot who was next to go on this. Wasn't it you, Zoe?
Oh, I wasn't done yet.
There you go. Go ahead and finish it up, girl.
Okay, so anyhow, like I said, whenever I saw the tweet, I thought she was mainly mentioning, what about the rest of us on the roster, all the other people that you did not name. That's what I was thinking. I didn't take it as racism. And you know what? Racism, sadly enough, yeah, it's alive. It's out there. It's everywhere you go. The worst thing about it, though, is social media. All they got to do is type race card, racist, and it sends everybody into this huge uproar.
And Johnny, I think you're back. You know about this as well. We've seen the race card being played many times in our day.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. When I started wrestling school, Pete McKay was the school I went to on the Lower East Side, and this was in the 90s. And he had explained to me, if you're not 6'2", blonde hair and blue eye, don't think you're gonna make it in this business. So I mean, that's coming from the guy who's supposed to be training you to become this superstar you have in your head, you know. But there's been a lot of racism in the business. It still continued till this day. The only reason why Ron Simmons was world champ is because Bill Watts was running that organization, and Bill Watts always gave, the African Americans a chance in his organizations. So when they came to the WWE, you see what happened to them. Went right downhill.
Yep. You know what? I'm gonna throw that down. That shout out to also to Mrs. A. Hey, Mrs. A. You in BC again? You can see them on BC Games and More every Tuesday night on Facebook. Just do the hashtag BC Games and More. Let's go to you, Lance.
Well, first thing when I saw, I was like, "Oh, what's the deal here?" But when I started hearing the whole race thing thrown, I was like, "No shit, there's racism in wrestling yet. It's been there almost as long as the business is in and of itself." So it's like, yeah, and I mean, but I honestly don't think there was any racism in the comment, but in the business, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we should move on because we have another one. And you know what? I'm going to start it off real quick. Brandy Rose.
Being racist now.
What's that? We could be racist now? Okay.
Who's being racist now?
God.
Wow. No comment on that.
Moving right along. Brandy Rhodes joins the All Elite Wrestling Promotions Management. Now, I found out some information about All Elite. They actually got someone that's putting in $300 million into their promotion. And not only that, they are securing TV time, folks, on TBS and TNT.
Wow.
TBS. Wow.
Is that negotiations or is it rock solid?
No, this is Turner Broadcasting wanted to bring them back, bring wrestling back, and this is it. And this is the deal. They're still in negotiations for time slot, like when it's appropriate. I hope they do a show on 605 because that would be such a tribute to wrestling. They should not go head to head with WWE. They should offer their own time, and they should build it up their product and then unleash it. I personally, I have high hopes, and I know we're going a little bit off from Brandy's, appointment into the company, but I have high hopes. I've never been excited for a company than I am for All Elite, because watching that All In pay-per-view brought me hope. Brought me hope that wrestling can go back to what it was. Be entertaining, be still athletic, and still captivating. And I think All Elite, they already got some big people coming in there, or there's rumors that 5 WWE people are leaving to go there. We already have Cody Rhodes. They have the Young Bucks. They have JR, Jim Ross, that's there.
Chris Jericho, I believe. Yeah, thank
Chris Jericho is another one. So, my God, already they have people that are such good in the business and know the business. I'm just hoping that they don't hire writers, that they stick with the creative like the old days with the promoters, and follow through on wrestling. Now, let me read the whole clip here. Brandy Rhodes announced that she is now All Elite Wrestling's Chief Branding Officer. According to Wikipedia, a brand manager is responsible for adapting a brand strategy for a company's target market. As the brand guardian, brand managers maintain brand integrity all across the company, and so forth and so forth. In other words, she's in charge of making sure that the company gets its voice out there, like basically pushing the product. I'm going to toss this to Johnny because Johnny knows this is one of his positions back when we were running our promotion, when it comes to branding the company and getting it out there.
Correct. If she can brand it the right way, showcase the talent, the wrestlers, the right way, I think this organization is going to skyrocket, and it's going to give the WWE a run for their money. You just got to know how to promote your guys.
Absolutely. Let's go to you, Rick. What do you think about All Elite growing? It's growing.
Absolutely, and I have to agree with a lot of other people here that they've got to do it slow. Right now, they're starting to get a lot of the right people who are truly passionate about the business. Chris Jericho has always been a businessman, but he's always been passionate about wrestling, passionate about music. And even, like I said, business is always a good thing, but if you have to have passion for what you're doing, if you don't have passion, then unless you're in the WWE, you're not going to go anywhere. Again, with a lot of WWE removing their wrestlers, I wouldn't even be surprised that if we see All Elite Wrestling take a page out of WWE's book and start poaching wrestlers.
We've seen WCW do it when they kind of, you could say, rebranded themselves with the Nitro thing, Lance, and they started grabbing workers back and forth. Could these people take some of these top folks from WWE?
Absolutely, because we have heard certain people backstage from time to time. This one ain't happy backstage. That one ain't happy backstage. And this could potentially be a valuable place to go. Which somebody better check on Vince. He might have just shit his pants.
Yeah, Zoe, Vince and the WWE are always going to be the top tier promotion. But we have already heard that Cody and the Young Bucks were offered a huge contract to drop All Elite and just come straight to the WWE, and they flat out said no.
I mean, well, first of all, to Brandy Rhodes, congrats and everything. That's great. With everybody that they are naming off, I mean, this is taking me back to my preteen years. I'm excited for it. WWE, they better step up their game because these guys might bury them.
You know what? And if they could get, I'm going to toss it right back to you, Rick. Final word on it. If these guys secure a perfect time slot on TBS or TNT, can you imagine how a company like Impact Wrestling, who's been flopping channels back and forth, who's been sinking ever so slowly, is going to react when they see this company, an upstart company, get ahead of them and get on a national? Because regardless of anything, TNT and TBS are known for professional wrestling. Imagine how would they go if they see this bypass them?
Well, unfortunately, like I said, I think Impact they were having some rough years with Dixie ran it, and then Anthem bought it, and again there was high hopes of New Promise, and then of course they started sinking again, and they made probably one of their biggest mistakes, and that's getting in bed with WWE. Even though they're still their own company, that means that WWE already has one fork in them. But I think All Elite, for them to say, you know what, nope, we're going to do our own, and they're going to start bringing other people in slowly, they definitely will surpass Impact Wrestling. We said years ago one of Impact's biggest flaws was not the talent, but the management in the back. And I think when you have wrestlers again who are very passionate and have control of the business, we'll see it as a wrestling company and not just some wannabe person or Mark who thinks that she needs to stand in front of a mic. Hopefully, like I said, if they can keep things in check, they very well could be a top contender against WWE. But that's a while down the road.
Yeah, you know what? Right now,
I'm just waiting to hear Zack Ryder signing with them, honestly, at this point.
Whatever his real name is.
You know what? The thing is, I got to say this, and when you bring up Zack Ryder, Zoe, that will be a great career change for him. He would have to call himself, Ryder Zack or something like that, or some good
Or
name.
Zack something else.
Right. I hope you're sharing whoever opened that bottle.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was me
over here.
opening my Mountain Dew.
Oh.
Like I said, I don't drink coffee. Mountain Dew keeps me awake.
She's all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Hell yeah.
See, you're going to have to do a video, Zoe, where you clap two cans together and drink like Stone Cold. And that's
Just for you, Joe, just for you, I will do that.
And make sure you
Just
wear
as you suggested it.
and I will send you an HWR T-shirt so you can get poured and get wet. That's key. That's not sexist, is it?
Make sure that one's white.
Yeah, make sure it's white.
God, no. Sorry, guys. Happily married woman.
Like,
So what's your point?
I'll wear a black turtleneck.
yeah, she'll wear a black T-shirt.
No. What if Dean said that?
Oh, damn, why you gotta do that?
That's right, Lance. Back her in the corner.
I hate you, Lance.
All right, but again, all of our hopes for All Elite Wrestling, because we need another company in the business. Wrestling is dying. You know, we're losing out on a lot, and we need a company that can start fledging up. You know, and by the way, folks, I'm going to say, we didn't even bring this up, and we're already almost done with the program. Happy New Year. Happy 2019 for all you listeners out there. This is the first broadcast for 2019, and I got to say, on behalf of the Hardcore crew, all of you folks have been really exceptional. You guys have been contributing a lot to our HWR chat room on Facebook. George has been our guru when it comes to stuff on YouTube. You know,
And buying our shirt.
buying our shirt, yeah. Which the rest of you fuckers out there better open up your wallet and start giving us some, because we need to fund our. We need to fund our.
George, hey, don't give up too many details.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There
well,
could be prosecution.
Yeah, that's
I got a show tomorrow. Don't do anything to get me in trouble tonight.
okay. But yeah, again, we love you guys, and you guys have been great. Again, so many comments, reports, and everything's been coming in. We do appreciate everybody. So let's continue. But again, happy 2019 for everybody. Rick, I'm gonna toss this to you because you brought this up, and you have a question that goes along with this. Vince McMahon switching up the New Day.
Well, you know, again, there's no legit confirmation. This is a rumor, implication. Unfortunately, you know, when it comes to dirt sheets, it's stuff like that that makes, you know, a lot of the websites and rumors kind of like look like shit. You know, obviously, eventually they're going to make a change with New Day. That's kind of obvious. If, where, and when, it's unknown. But the rumor claims that Vince McMahon is looking to make changes with a New Day soon as next week. As of this post, there's no legit confirmation, so take all this with a grain of salt, guys. But this is a question. You know, does New Day really need a change? They have been very, very high marketable stuff when it comes to just, we've seen everything from the glow-up dildos to pancakes to, you know, bootios. So, yeah, sometimes their material gets a little dry. I think they should add material, but right now, while they're still marketable, I think it's a mistake to try to change that, personally.
And let me chime in on that. I think, personally, the group is good for these three individuals who, before the New Day, were floundering. Coffee was kind of the breakout star. Big E was kind of the big man who was kind of just floating around.
Bland.
Yeah, and bland, cracking his hands together, making that cocaine puff come out of his gloves. And then you had Xavier Woods, Consequences Creed, Paige's love interest in the video. Yeah. He wasn't really doing anything else. I think when they put these three guys together, I think it really made something for themselves. I personally think they shouldn't change much, but like I agree with you, Rick, they need to come up with something different. Like they had bootios, they did the glowing dildos, they did the pancakes, maybe, you know, New Day burgers or something like that.
I wasn't really referring to the merchandise stuff. I was talking about a lot of the their dialogue. When they come out and they do the same promos and it's all the same jokes, and it's like, you know, okay, fine. You know, I want to keep that same kind of crazy, weirdo happiness, but they need to add, you know, a lot more into those promos. You need to switch that up a little bit. Kind of like Paul Heyman. Brilliant guy, but again, you can only listen to the same fucking promo over and over and over again. Yeah. You know, so That's what I was referring to.
My
I mean,
name is Paul Heyman.
Oh God, please don't get me started. on that.
I'm the advocate for Brock Lesnar.
All right. Well, and you know what? You're correct. You know what they should do? Remember years ago when DX was walking around New York City causing stuff and making people do something stupid, and I
Flashing them.
yeah, like making that Spanish lady do the X chop and she's waving her arms like no deport me, no deport me. I don't know what she was doing, but and they were going into the different shops and cause I think the New Day should take that page and do it too. Let's go to you, Johnny, on this. Should the New Day be changed?
You don't say.
Apparently, he's Ubering too much.
Yeah, that's.
No, I'm back. No. Say that again.
We were saying that the squirrels are really getting there, huh?
Oh, big time. Big time.
Anyway, I was saying about the New Day. Should the New Day be changed?
No, I think they're good just the way they are. Absolutely. I've always been a big fan of New Day. Always. I think they're entertaining. I think they're great. They come up with all these retarded, crazy stuff that actually get the people going. Why change them?
Absolutely. If a thing works for a team, don't change it. Like kind of like a Latin Lords back in your day, huh, Johnny? Yeah, he agrees. All right.
Yeah. No, true. Yeah, absolutely. Just like the way we were. Keep it the same. If it's working, let it work. You're making money, let it go. Let it be. Plain and simple.
All right, let's go to you, Zoe. What do you think?
Yes. Please send them out there with duct tape on their mouths for the love of God. They annoy the hell out of me. They were funny in the beginning, but I can only hear who so many times before I start literally trying to pull out my damn hair.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was talking about.
You know, the problem is, though, is that they're so worried about cursing on TV and how it will make WWE look. I figure if they give them a little bit more free reign, yeah, they'd be all right.
Well, and that's a funny thing that you brought that up real quick is that, they're really not PG. They have a lot of underlying, sexual references. You always see, Big E kind of shaking his, junk around, and they said bootios. And bootios, what does that mean? Assholes.
Yeah.
His boot ass and then the O's. And so, they're being silly for the kids who don't understand aneurysms, but yet entertaining the older crowd.
Who understand it.
Exactly. So
They just get on my nerves. I just can't stand them.
But as far as them going out, Joey, you said that like they should walk out with other crowds or this and that. They might wind up biting themselves in the ass if they come across fucking what's his name, Enzo Amore, who's been hanging around the crowds begging for his job back.
Yeah, you know what? But that's what made DX famous. And Lance, I'm going to toss it to you. What should the New Day be changed, and what would you do?
Hell yes, mind you. Because now y'all have the New Day's always annoyed me.
Preach.
But I personally, now if this would not go over today, but the original idea that they were pitching when Kofi, Big E, and Xavier got together was kind of like a pissed off black organization.
Well, wouldn't that be the Nation of Domination then?
Something kind of like that.
Yeah. And unfortunately,
this whole whoo, shaking their ass and stuff like that. That's what's wrong with comedy wrestling nowadays. It makes it look goofy.
Here's something for all of you. And again, if you folks have any idea, let's put your input down in the HWR chat room on Facebook. What changes would you do, or should the New Day be changed? Here's one thing I thought, and I want to hear everybody's opinion real quick before we go to our next topic, and then we have one more topic real quick. What about adding? What's his name? The freaking, now I forgot his name. Oh my God, the Tony Atlas clone. What is his name?
Leo Rush. God, no, don't do
not
that.
Leo Rush. His mentor.
Oh,
Oh.
fucking Mr. Asshole.
Yeah, what the hell is this?
Bobby. Yeah, Bobby
Bobby
Lashley.
What if they
No.
added Bobby
No.
Lashley?
No.
No,
No.
no, God, fuck
No.
no. Bobby Lashley should go back to the third-rate MMA fights where he was getting his ass kicked. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
He needed to go to fourth rate to whoop somebody's ass.
I
Joe,
thought
you should be shot just for saying that.
exactly.
What the hell wrong with you,
All
boy?
right, fine. We'll add Tony
What?
Atlas to the list then.
One last thing with Bobby Lashley. I thought he was bad over at Impact. When he came over to WWE, I thought it was horrible. And then he got this fucking Leo Rush guy who apparently likes licking his asshole because he keeps on pointing and saying, "That's what I want." I just don't get it. It's unentertaining. It's just,
Yeah.
the first one time, like, okay, I get it. But
Well,
It's-
Dude, the old DX would have a field day with him.
exactly.
oh, jeez. they'll be rubbing his face in somebody's ass and all that. All right, well, we got two quick topics before we go to the last topic of the night. Seth Rollins opens up a coffee shop. WWE Seth Rollins is opening a coffee shop in his hometown of Davenport, Iowa, called 392D Port. I don't know how you would say that, 392 Port. The coffee shop is expected to open in early 2019. Rollins also owns a wrestling school. Okay, I like the idea that you're going to make it side businesses and opening it up. I don't think he's that really. When it comes to wrestling schools, I think you should be in the business a lot longer before you decide to even coin your thing. Just because you've been in the WWE doesn't make you a world-renowned authority on wrestling. Even though you've been wrestling that's your job, but it takes a little bit more to be just opening up a wrestling school and having people pay you to tumble on the mat.
Well, Joe, he's been in the business for since '05.
Yeah,
Well, he was in the Indies. Remember, he's a teenager too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
well, that's true, but it still takes a little bit longer. I don't know. That's my opinion. I like when workers are more, how should I say, seasoned in the business, have been there for years, and they can slow down. I think him. He's got the coffee shop. That's great. The wrestling school. It depends on who else is working with him on it. We will have.
Because let's face it, Seth ain't gonna be the one training people.
Exactly.
He's running around on the road doing his job. This is just gonna be a damn
somebody using the namesake.
investment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and again, I think, as you said, he's making these business investments because he sees he sees his future. He knows eventually he's going to retire. And even a lot of the old timers from the golden era and such, and the legends, always said, "Save your money," because we've seen people like Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, just squander their finances away on nothing. So I think this is a wonderful idea. As far as the wrestling school. Yeah, I think right now he's just financing it, and it's under his name.
Yeah,
And he's just making the money.
we will have to see. Let's go quickly because this is a free for all. Zoe, Johnny, Zoe, you want to go first?
Oh God, yes, because I gotta get this out of my system. Because as soon as you said it, I thought about this. It's not going to go anywhere. The coffee shop won't. Would you like to know why? Because as soon as they open, Dean's going to show up and burn it down.
That would be a
Bam! Okay, I feel better.
Seth will have to have insurance. It would be a good gimmick.
Money back. That's how we'll make his money back.
All
But, I
seriousness,
mean,
I don't think he would want
hey,
anything.
He could just be paying it forward. Maybe a friend of his over there is wanting to do it, doesn't have money. He might be helping him out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give a quick shout out to a person who's listening over on the Raw and SmackDown Live news group, Kathleen Donnelly, and she said, "Hell yeah!" And again, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
I also want to give a shout out to Eric. I can never pronounce his last name, Malaringo. Forgive me if I know that's wrong, but he's also trying to listen. Thank you very much.
Yep, we also had James Brewster. We had several others. Thanks for guys for watching the program. Again, we appreciate it. Johnny, we've even known in the business that we've been told many times. Open up, invest your money into other things besides wrestling because you're gonna need it.
Uh-huh. We've heard it many a times. It's true because the business isn't the way it used to be. You know how much money it's going to cost just to bring up a small independent organization? Forget about it. It's ridiculous.
Hell,
Invest your money in
Kane,
something else. What happened?
hell, Kane is opening up a school in Knoxville.
Oh, shit. Seriously?
Yeah.
That's like 2 hours away from me. I got to pack.
And that's why a lot of people like Tommy Dreamer did the same thing. They opened up their own school, their own wrestling shows and stuff like that. You know, you have to invest your money in other things. And some people, you know, bought gyms, invest their money in gyms and like big stores and stuff like that. So, yeah, you need to invest your money in other things other than wrestling. I agree.
All right, Rick, over in the HW chat room, Eric says the G is silent. So it's Molinero.
Moreno?
Oh, Molina. All right. Sorry again. Thank you for clarifying on that.
Manel.
I've always been shitty when it's pronouncing last names. So.
That's just say Eric M.
All right, Eric M. That works.
All right, let's go real quickly. Trevor Lee is done with Impact Wrestling. The former Impact champion Trevor Lee announced today on Twitter that he is now a free agent. Lee also tweeted, "See you soon." While nothing is confirmed, many have suggested that Lee might be heading to NXT. You know what? Lee is a good worker. I didn't like the caveman gimmick in NXT Impact Wrestling. As far as NXT, maybe I see him in All Elite. Rick?
You know, we did talk about that earlier about certain wrestlers going. So, again, they may make certain bids on Trevor Lee. I like Trevor Lee, but I don't think he would be one of the top notches to buy. But, hey, say, all right, look, we'd like you to come in, sign a contract, and let's see where it goes from there. As far as, I don't know if that's been his gimmick the whole entire time, but I hate to say it, the caveman look fits him because clearly that's exactly what it looks like. They might have to call him the Neanderthal or something else.
Or they could call him, Luke Harper's little brother. I don't know. All right. Let's go to you, Johnny, real quick. I know you don't know Trevor Lee, pretty much.
I have no idea who that is.
All right. Let's go to you, Zoe.
Never heard of him.
See, this shows you what happens to you when you work in Impact Wrestling. Lance, be the guy here. Do you know who Trevor Lee is?
I think there was a organization.
Whenever you hear "I think," you know it's bad.
No, I think he actually worked in a organization that was out of Knoxville. Out of Arkansas that we used to watch on YouTube a lot. Traditional Championship Wrestling. We would watched after every Monday on Raw. And I think this guy might have worked there, early in his career.
Yeah, over in the HW chat room, Jake Slayer says, I watched the latest Impact today. Killer Cross bash Lee's head with a center block. Gee, that sounds like something that happened over in Mexico, but it was legitimately done. That's bad when they use a real life thing for that. But anyway, we're going to go into the final topic here before we end the show. Stephanie McMahon highlights 2018. Stephanie McMahon highlighted several tweets where she talked about some of the best moments in 2018. Her first obvious tweet was her match with Triple H, where they fought Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 34. The second was celebrating her dog turning 10 months. Yeah. Another tweet was at a FYC event, Stephanie McMahon talked about going to the enemies and plugged the WWE had two of the longest running programs on TV, which is SmackDown and Raw. She tweeted about the evolution, the women's evolution. This ain't Gunsmoke. WWE is not the longest running program of all time. I think The Simpsons got you beat. So I don't know about that. And this is wrestling. You're not a daytime soap. Well, let me take that back. They are a daytime soap opera. Most of the stuff that comes out of their office is stupid anyway.
Because it's written by those damn people.
Exactly. I think the highlight of 2018 in wrestling, let's all get our thing in real quick. I would have to say Hulk Hogan returning to the WWE. So, Rick, any highlights?
All in.
There
The
you
All
go.
In event. To me, that was it. That was the start of something, and that we, I will absolutely mark out on that. And as far as her highlights, she highlights WWE moments. I get, she's a businesswoman, but then her dog. Never mind the anniversary she might have had with Triple H, her husband, or her kids' birthdays, or anything else. Her dog.
Yep. And then
Are
put
you
the
fucking
evolution,
kidding me?
and then put the evolution thing in the bottom of her tweets.
Yeah.
Like at the end.
So, I don't get that.
All right, let's go to you, Zoe. Your highlight
Okay.
of 2018, and what did you think of Stephanie McMahon's tweet?
Okay. I have two. One is Dean Ambrose came back and started wrestling shirtless. Thank you, God. Number two would be the Women's Evolution pay-per-view. It was so much better than I thought it was going to be, and I respect those women so much. I had to bite back tears whenever I was watching it, honestly, because it's like, damn, they're doing it. They're actually doing it. As far as Stephanie's tweets goes, I don't give a flying shit about you damn dog, honey. You need to be worrying about your money.
Yeah, let's go to you, Lance. Highlights of 2018, and what do you think of Stephanie's tweet?
Well, I got a few. One is came from WrestleMania. The Undertaker basically teabagging John Cena at the end of that match. Because y'all know my feelings about that son of a bitch.
Why are you thinking about John Cena sucking on Undertaker's nuts? Why is that your first?
Just in his face. He's been screwing everybody. And
But
well,
you're thinking about Undertaker's nuts and John Cena's face is your top highlight? What the hell? I'm kidding. I'm giving you a hard time. I love you.
Hey, Zoe, you never answered the question. Who'd you pick if Dean asked you to send pics?
Oh my God. Honey, if you're listening to this while you're driving your truck,
Tone it out.
yeah, mute it. Just mute it. I guess I might. I don't know. I'm not a ring rat first and foremost, but oh my God, that man's fine.
He's the exception to the rule.
Yeah, he's
Exactly.
Anyway, number 2 would be All In, and I know I'm going to catch hell for this. HBK coming back to the ring.
uh,
Oh, excuse me. Hold on. I need to smoke some weed now.
Johnny, what about you? Highlights of 2018 and Stephanie's tweet?
He gets to hear me say Uber of Westchester.
And that's probably the best of 2018. Okay?
And
Be honest with you.
What the fuck?
I think that's it.
I'm going on 2 hours of sleep, guys. I'm slap happy.
There was shit this year.
Last year.
Garbage. All right? Other than Titus O'Neil going under the ring, everything else was garbage.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was a good
Yeah.
one. All
Does
right.
anybody know if they're doing that same event this year?
What's up?
I would assume so.
I think so.
Didn't they sign like a contract to do it for like 5 years or something?
Yeah, and if they break it,
Yeah,
some
they're
government
kind of
can stop
required.
the company.
All right.
Yeah.
Over in the HW chat room, Jake Slayer says, I wonder if Stephanie McMahon likes to have grape jelly rubbed on her rear end. So,
Oh.
Hey, cave.
well,
if
she's
they're-
being banged by a caveman, why not?
Yeah.
Even a caveman can do it, But with that, folks, we're going to say thanks for listening on the program. It's been a wild ride for this 1 hour. Again, our condolences to the Oakland family on losing. We lost a great man, already. In 2019, we lost a great man in Mean Gene Oakland. So we hope that this is not a trend in wrestling. Right now, Lance, that big cloud in the sky. That has the best WrestleManias going on up there.
Yeah.
Now they got the best interviewer up there. I wish we could pipe into that. There's got to be an illegal stream into that somewhere. And with that, folks, we're going to come to the end of the show where everybody does, the blasey, and we get out there and we beg you for likes and subscribes, which is, no big change here. He is, first of all, he's not here tonight. He is our beloved Andy, and he runs Stoked Haunted. If you're into the paranormal shows from the UK, check out Stoked Haunted at www.stokedhaunted.com. You can also find him on YouTube, where he goes out and does investigations into the paranormal and probably pisses off a lot of ghosts. So, again, check him out. That's Stoked Haunted. Every Tuesday night, check out BC Games and More. Again, BC and Mrs. A, they're always giving props to us. We're shooting it right back at them, so check them out on Facebook, hashtag BC Games and More. Lance, man, tell everybody about your program.
Well, last week I had to skip the show because, well, honestly, actually this week I had to skip my show because I don't know if y'all can hear, I'm kind of under the weather right now, but I hope to be back for next week. I don't know. It just depends on how bad this cough stays. But if it's back, I will be back, and it's YouTube, Lance Moss TV and Friends Coffee Time. I never know who's going to show up. And the Friday videos are on hold for a little bit while I figure out what I'm going to do. Anyway, you can hit me up on Twitter. It's at Lance Moss TV.
All right. She is the beloved Vicious Vixen of Kentucky's Own Wrestling. And she has a show coming up, you said. Zoe, take it over.
Oh, yeah, you know it, 2019, KZW, better get ready because this is the year where everything falls to carnage. We do have a show coming up tomorrow, Monticello, Kentucky. If you guys are out and about, come down and see us. If you guys are into live scary story readings, you can catch me every Friday night, including tonight, at 10:30 p.m. I've got 2 road trip stories and 1 personal story that my husband shared with me that happened to him. So that's going to be really fun. Other than that, you guys can always reach me on Facebook on my Zoe Nightshade page or on the Nightmare Vixen, where I will be going live really soon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. 2018 has been amazing for me because I got to be part of HWR.
Yeah, we got the first active wrestler in the business. Me and Johnny are the retired ones.
Retired, retarded.
It's
Either
one of those
or,
R
both
words. Yeah, it's one of those R words. Yeah. Well, speaking of which, Zoe, he is the what?
The Uber of Westchester.
I just saw. I just looked over, and my Darth Vader action figure just got a hard on. His lightsaber just lit up.
Oh, easy now. That's my voice, not his.
So, Johnny, go ahead, take it away.
I am the Uber of Westchester, guys. I have my own YouTube page. It's the Uber of Westchester. I do weekly videos showing how much I make working part-time for Uber in Westchester County. If anybody wants to work for Uber, you can scroll down on my YouTube page and sign up with the link. I also have an Instagram, which is the same name, the Uber of Westchester, but every word is underscored. If you guys want to drive for Uber, now's the best time. There's plenty of bonuses and incentives for all new drivers. Best part-time job I ever had. Pays the bills, help me out, and the best part about it is I'm taking back my day.
There you go. And in fact, I got a story for you, Johnny. One of the workers I work with over here in the hospital, he actually started watching your channel and is now interested in Ubering. So
thank you. There you go.
Yeah, he's getting the word out. He is our boss here. He's the one that tries to keep us under control.
Well, every time, 'cause I'm just along with the madness.
Yep. In the madness, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
He is Rick. Rick, tell everybody about us.
Well, Hardcore Wrestling Radio, when we first started, we wanted to, kind of step outside the box, the PG rating box, and we just wanted to be that hardcore crew where anything and everything was out there. There was no line we would not cross. And then, of course, throughout the years, we've had people such as Lance Moss, the son of a bitch, Andy's not here. He's been with us since day one. And then, of course, Joseph Knight came along, the IPTV guy, and, of course, certainly but not last, we had Zoe Nightshade. But we do a lot more than just podcasting. Over the HWI chat room, we will catch your latest news and or rumors. And then we also, over on our YouTube page, we have a lot of tribute videos, all of our archives for all of our podcasts, including the Four Corner Rants. We also did In the Moment and several other shows. And last, of course, we have a lot of shoot videos. So if you're looking for some of the shoot videos, check us out. Again, that's HWR Show. And for our Facebook chat room, it's HWR Chat Room.
All right. Now I am Joseph Skoldrin. Now you can find me. Just do the hashtag Skoldrin's Realm. You will find me on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, where you can see my gaming videos. You've seen probably some hilarious stuff I did with Dead by Daylight recently, and also State of Decay 2. So just check that out. You can also, I'm going to be updating the site tomorrow. So www.skoldrinsrealm.com will be back up and running with a new layout. And you can order our t-shirts. Speaking of t-shirts, I'll make this quick. We do have t-shirts for sale. And it is the fancy Lance Moss TV t-shirt, the Uber of Westchester, the Vicious Vixen, my Skoldrin's Realm, the Stoked Haunted, the BTS shirt, which is Lance.
If I can do it, hang on. But a shirt!
Buy the shirt, indeed, and it is the HWR shirt, which we still haven't figured out who's that guy in the center.
Yeah, he looks phenomenal, though.
Looks. You can actually say he's number one.
Yeah.
And he's been an Impact player in many times over, so we'll just leave it like that. He's offered the SmackDown several people. So with that, you can find the t-shirts. Just leave a message here on HWR chat room. If you want to message me, you can message Rick. You can message anybody, and we'll get all the information to you. Support the show. I am going to make one big t-shirt with all of us together, so you can support all of us in one t-shirt. But if you're interested, definitely get the shirt, support us, and on our channels on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, whichever you want to follow us on, like, subscribe, and follow, because we need those likes and follows. So with that, folks, this is Joseph Knight for HWR Four Corner Rants and the insane crew here saying happy 2019 and see you next week. Lance, one more. Come on, one more.
If I can, hang on. What is shirt?
There you go. It's a little down, but it served the purpose.
Well, I'm sick, so you got what you got.
Did you say you were sex?
Sick.
Six, okay.
That's what I thought he said.
Yeah, I thought you said sex. I'm like, well, do
Y'all
it on
just
your
Sitting
own.
down with a sexist.
We know what y'all two are thinking about me.
I gotta stop saying Uber Westchester like that.
Oh, no,
God.
that's what made his year.
That would be copyright infringement.
Yeah. You know what? Before we go off real quick, Rick, have we been having WWE listen in our product? Because they've been bitching about our channel for so long.
Yeah.
Obviously we're all joking here, but it's kind of funny because we've talked about things that should or might happen in the future, and lo and behold, they have. Now, none of us have any kind of inside news. We don't know with anybody in the back. A lot of this stuff that we either read online, and we also give our own speculation on certain things. So it's kind of ironic.
Yeah, they've been, every time we came up with our channels, with our pay-per-view broadcasts, we always specifically say, go to the network, we're not streaming, and these folks will just come up and say, hey, you can't do that, copyright. Our opening before, the one you folks used to see, the studio one, we took that off. because they were saying the same thing. So they're watching the channel. So,
Yeah, they just ain't listening, damn it.
yes. They ain't
Gee,
listening to them.
my phone number is.
Hey,
Never
I
mind.
think it's